Resting in Uncontrived Conduct by Longchenpa. As a support to the point of enlightened intent, as a supreme state of resting in genuine being, there is a valuable instruction concerning manifest circumstances. They are pure, and that they are naturally evanescent. A major pivotal point is that sensory appearances are free in their own place, even as they are directly encountered. Within the oneness of everything as awakened mind, equal to space, dualistic perception draws you into confusion, conditioned existence, and causality. Since sensory appearances based on confusion are illusory and have no true support, when you encounter them directly, maintain the experience of their leaving no trace, free of evaluation. In the direct encounter between your consciousness and sense objects, you identify consciousness as a bare state of resting naturally. In letting go, by resting imperturbably, resting in the immediacy of perception, resting naturally, you gain natural freedom, the natural state of naked Dharmakaya. The Pearl Garland states, "The true nature of phenomena is unchanging and utterly stable. Its domain is awareness's own naturally free manifestations. Its radiance is by nature inherently pure. It is imperturbable rest. Rest in the immediacy of perception. Natural rest. Another major pivotal point is that negative circumstances provide training in the recognition of awareness. When you experience displeasure and a strong reaction such as anger, upset, or aversion takes place in your mind, do not renounce it, following the Shravika approach. Do not refine it away with antidotes, following the Bodhisattva approach. Do not transform it into timeless awareness, following the approach of the outer and inner tantras. Do not deliberately encourage it, following the approach of some adherents of the category of mind. Or look at its essence, as would some other adherents. Or meditate on it, as would still others. Rather, in that context, identify bare awareness in its pristine nakedness, so that the displeasure fades naturally. And lucid, unobstructed awareness arises with greater clarity. the heaped jewels states, while beings experience suffering, my bliss arises naturally. In the lack of separation between happiness and suffering at such times lies the perfection of my enlightened qualities. Another pivotal point is that anything that manifests is freed in your direct encounter with it. So antidotes that employ renunciation are cleared away within the ground of being. However your consciousness reacts to the sense objects it perceives, whether indulging in or suppressing them, do not look at the essence of these feelings, meditate on them, or seek some alternative. For by your simply identifying bare awareness, they are free in their true nature. That is to say, there has never been any state of bondage. So while the conventional label freedom can be applied, things are free in their bare state once you perceive the key point, that bare state. They are free in the sense of being timelessly free, once you perceive their timelessly pure essence. They are free in their own place, once you rest directly in the natural state of rest. They are free in the sense of being free in your immediate perception of them, for they fade away directly in the context in which they manifest. They are free in the sense of being completely free. Once you have realized they have no basis, there is nothing that is not free. And they are free in the very moment. They occur in such a way that they are free even as they arise. Regardless of what circumstance manifests, no matter what appears or arises, it is awareness's own manifestation and poses no threat to yogins of the great perfection. Once you perceive this key point, freedom occurs when you experience decisively that there is no turning back from the true nature of phenomena. The reverberation of sound states. Furthermore, I will explain the true nature of freedom. With freedom due to the key point, exertion falls away. Freedom is timeless, so there is no need to create it anew. Freedom is natural, so there are no antidotes. There is freedom in immediate perception, so things fade at the point where they are seen. there is total freedom. So there is natural purity. Freedom is beyond time, so becoming familiar with it is unnecessary. Since the nature of being is free, it is uncontrived. The supremely joyful state of natural freedom is another pivotal point which can be discerned in your unobstructed experience of ordinary consciousness and things. When joy is deeply aroused by anything at all, that is the limpid clarity of awareness. So rest without straying from a very natural identification of bare awareness. The heaped jewel states, when directed outward, the mind's attention is my naturally pure, sublime knowing. If there is no further analysis of it, it hears my sounds. Another pivotal point is that consciousness, which involves the proliferation and resolution of thoughts, is in its natural place of rest, free within the non-dual state that is its true nature. In any context in which your consciousness is drawn to and becomes aware of a sense object in a way that is neither pleasant nor unpleasant, do not look at the context of that experience, but identify the bare state that is the ground from which it arises. With this, there is a simultaneous occurrence of freedom in the immediacy of your perception of sensory appearances, without rejecting these outer appearances. And freedom in the immediacy of your mind stirring, without eliminating this inner stirring. This is similar to the loads being loosened on both sides of a pack animal's back, when the peg holding them is pulled out. The quality of this neutral state of consciousness being free is termed ignorance-free, as empty, utter lucidity. When the very essence of awareness is experienced in all its nakedness, all the expressions of its dynamic energy, the whole spectrum of sensory appearances that manifest as its naturally pristine display, are by necessity also free. Having no basis and unaffected by thoughts, they are free in their own place, abiding timelessly within their true nature. In brief, there is bondage if ordinary consciousness reifies things. Freedom if it lets go. And transcendence of the extremes of bondage and freedom, when freedom has no relevance at all. The Pearl Garland states, Given that what occurs is indeterminate, mind itself, in which things appear to be determinate, is free. All sensory appearances that manifest as forms are free within the state in which they have no independent nature. Formless states are free of substance. Given that phenomena are freed by phenomena, what is non-existent is free of non-existence. Given that the one is free of the one, what manifests as two are both free.